Sewing the arms and the legs is very similar to sewing the ears. You put good to good, pin it, sew on the one, so line it up at the top, reverse at beginning and end. Whenever those pins are in your way, just take them out. Just guide it. You may have to stop and do some pivoting, especially on the curves. And in my case, I chose to design kind of a longer arm and a shorter stubby leg. And in fact, I used the ear pattern for the leg. So start, stop, pivot whenever you need to, but try to keep that fabric on the one, the foot right on the edge of the flannel, come up to the top and reverse. And one thing you should do before you flip anything, whether it's the ear, the leg, a tail, you want to, after you've sewn it, flip it over and make sure there's no holes on either side, because sometimes it looks really good on the side that you sewed it and you flip it over and you see, oh, it didn't catch and you've got a hole. So you definitely want to fix that before you flip. I don't really need to trim anything here, so I'm just going to flip it. And if you're finding it difficult with your fingers, you can always use the little bamboo stick, the little pointer, to help pull it through. Now the arms I'm going to use stuffing, and the legs I'm going to use rice. It's just a personal preference. I find the rice makes the legs a little bit heavier, whereas I don't want the arms too heavy. And just remember not to overstuff, because if you do, when you go to attach it to the body, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So I've got this all pulled out. Now I'm going to add some stuffing, just a little bit at a time. And again, if you're having trouble with your fingers, you can take that little pointer and that'll help you get that down there. Either end, the pointed end or the rounded end. It's a pretty versatile little tool. Okay, so getting that in. I want the bottom a little more stuffed. It's like a little fist and I want it to be kind of thick. So I'll put a little bit more down the arm. And now when I go to sew it shut, I think I've got a little too much. I'll pull some out. I want to push that down quite a bit. I want at least the top 2 centimeters completely free of stuffing. So again, you can try taking a pin and pinning it so it's all, the stuffing's all below the pin, and then sew it on the one, and then after you take the pin out, the stuffing can come back up. Start, reverse. Cut those threads. So do your other arm the same way, whichever design you've chosen. And for the leg, same idea, good to good. Sewing a small craft seam, stopping and pivoting whenever necessary. Removing pins when they're in your way. Just remember, when you're lifting that foot as often as you are, that you're always putting it back down. You don't want to break the golden rule and sew with your foot up, or you'll get your machine jammed. Reverse again. The wider it is at the top, the easier it's going to be to flip. Check on the other side, no holes, didn't miss the fabric anywhere. And now for the rice, same idea, put it in, but make sure, in fact I'd probably even understuff with the rice. You want those top 2 centimeters completely free, no rice at all. Pin it to hold it down. And then you're going to sew it shut up at the one. Reversing at beginning and end. Now you can use stuffing for the legs as well. Because they're on the bottom, I just like them to be a little bit heavier. I just like the effect it gives. So sew both arms, both the legs, stuff them, and sew them shut.